Yo, 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 what's up, guys? This is I Run Fast, and this is a video just telling y'all, three reasons. I said reasons, yo. Three reasons why I think people, or I think Lamar is like, the most hated MVP ever. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, Lamar Jackson, the most recent MVP. Lamar Jackson, dynamic runner. Elite passer in my eyes, I believe, soon to be Super Bowl champion, you know what I'm saying? But yes, I'm a Baltimore fan, so this I'm a try my best not to be biased in this video, but I'm a put my bias to the side and just analyze this, question accurately, cuz I don't know why Lamar gets so much hate as an MVP, and I feel like he just got to get the respect he deserves. But it doesn't happen. So I'm just making this video just to address all the issues. So here we go. I'll say the first reason, what I'm saying, why I think Lamar Jackson is the most hated MVP in the whole history of the league, what I'm saying, is because, his stats. Now, he just won his second MVP this year, and his stats were 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Now, people or box scorers who I believe say that Lamar Jackson did not, deserve his MVP because he only had 24 touchdowns. Now, 24 passing touchdowns, looking at the box score, that ain't cutting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's mid, 24 touchdowns in a 17 game regular season. That's all you had? Like, you're supposed to have, like, an MVP caliber season. You're supposed to have at least, like, 30, 35 plus or 40 plus touchdowns. I think Patrick Mahomes at one point, he had like a 50 touchdown season with 5,000 yards passing. Like, that's an MVP in some people's eyes. That's an MVP caliber season stat wise. But I believe, if you look at the film this year, what Lamar was doing, when he was affecting the game, what he was doing to affect the game, to affect the defense, like, that was MVP caliber. And plus, when I forgot who the podcaster's name, it was like after the 49ers game, she said like she wasn't, like, Lamar Jackson wasn't quarterback year or whatever, and like Lamar Jackson after that, that whole BS that she was spewing, Lamar Jackson had a 5 touchdown passing game against the Dolphins at home. He shut her up. So it's like, yes, Lamar Jackson only had 24 touchdown passes, but it's like at the end of the day, he better than you, bro. Like, he was the most effective. He was the best quarterback in the league. What he was doing to other defenses this year. If you watch the 49ers game, bro, it was he had 2 passing, I believe. The 49ers was like, they was the best team in the conference in the NFC, and they were Super Bowl favorites, like the Ravens, but we're going to get to that later. But what he was doing to that 49ers defense, no one else is doing that except maybe Patrick Mahomes, or not except maybe Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen maybe. But it's like, bro, you can't, if you just look at the stats, I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice, because what Lamar Jackson does on the field, that's what makes him an MVP. Like, he's not going to have the best passing stats. Let's be real here. He's not going to have the best passing stats. That's not his game. If he just focuses, like, if he can pass when he wants to. I feel like he's like an elite passer. But at the same time, if he wants to run the ball and take it to the house, he can. And there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like people just see there's something wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But let's continue with the stats. Looking at his stats right here, his first season, he had 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns, and this was his rookie year, and he led our team. I was a Baltimore Ravens fan. He led our team to the playoffs, and I think in like 3 years. Like, we haven't been to the playoffs since, I think, 2014. So this was like 4 years, and we was like division champs and everything. So this is like the first year in which we got led to the playoffs. Lamar Jackson, rookie season, he ascended us to the playoffs in like 4 years, bro. Like, that's, But, the second year, 2019, he had his MVP season. And this is what people be this is what people are pointing to when they say like they don't think Lamar Jackson deserves his MVP this year, because Lamar Jackson in the 2019 season, he had 36 touchdown passes, you know, and that in people's eyes looking at the box score, that's an MVP worthy season because that's 30 plus touchdowns, and I think he had 42 total touchdowns in that whole season with 1,000 yards rushing on top of that. So that's an MVP caliber season, and he was unanimous MVP, deservingly so during that year. So obviously, he gonna win the MVP. But him having 36 touchdown passes with 1,000 yards rushing, that's MVP caliber. People still point to the fact that he only had 3,100 yards passing, and in some individuals' eyes, if you don't have over 4,000 yards passing, you're not an elite passer. Now, Jameis Winston, I think a couple years ago, he had like 5,000 yards passing and he had 30 touchdowns with like 30 interceptions. In my eyes, to me, it's the touchdown to interception ratio. If you're like throwing like 4,000 yards with like 40 touchdowns and like 5 interceptions, that's a great season. But if you have like 6,000 yards passing with like, let's say like 30 touchdowns and like 50 interceptions, bro, like, what are you doing? You just throwing for just to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? You just throwing at this point, yo. 2020, he had 2,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. I think this was his Pro Bowl years. It's like COVID, so everything was like he kind of missed a couple games there. And 2021, he made the Pro Bowl that year. And 2021, he had 2,800 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. This is when he got injured, and he was trying to beat the allegations of him being injury prone, which is like, come on, bro. Like, if you watch Lamar Jackson play, he's not an injury prone player, bro. Like, he wasn't. But he had 16 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Like, this wasn't his best year, but I remember this year vividly being like, either this year or the next year, 2022, being like crazy because we had like hella comebacks, and it was that Raiders game, the Colts game, where he had like 400 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. Like, it was crazy. Insane, bro. But the 2022 season, he did, it's similar, but he had way less interceptions. He had like 17 touchdowns and 7 interceptions with 2,200 yards passing. This is when he also got injured. He got injured, I believe, in that Panthers game, and I think he like strained his PCL or something like that. And this is when people were just calling him like an injury bug, like he was injury prone, like like he's a liability. He don't deserve his money. Like, this is when he was going through those contract talks, and like his mom, his mother, she was the negotiator and all that. So he was going through that, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I think he was like kind of like holding out because he was injured, and then plus while I play for a team that's not even paying me yet, and I'm gonna go out while I'm injured, like that's just how I feel about it. But yeah, and then he got paid, and then the next year, 2023, which is just passed, he throws for 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, and wins his second MVP while rushing for 800 yards on top of that. So that's like 4,400 plus yards total. Yes, he doesn't have the passing touchdowns number. It's not that high. But it's like, if you see what he's doing on the field, bro, like what he was doing on film, Fred Warner, who's like one of the best in-space tacklers, one of the best coverage linebackers, he made Fred Warner look silly, bro. Who does that? So that's why, people, in my opinion, people look at his stats and don't see the big picture, which is like, come on, bro. If you do your research, if you look at the videos, you can see what's going on, bro. Obviously. But yeah, my fault. He had 821 yards rushing with 5 touchdowns on top of that. So he had 29 touchdowns total for last year, his MVP season. So I mean, again, the touchdown numbers wasn't there, but what he was doing, his production on the field, what he was doing on film, it's crazy, bro. Now people want to point to Josh Allen because I think Josh Allen accounted for like 40 touchdowns. He had like 4,000 yards passing, like he was doing something crazy. But my accusation to that is that he had so many interceptions, so many turnovers. He was a turnover machine at one point, bro. There were segments on ESPN saying Is Josh Allen like turnover like? Does he have turnover issues? Why would I want to have a turnover prone QB as my MVP? You know. But that's just one accusation. So I'm gonna drop it at that. I just think, one of the reasons why he's the most hated MVP is his stats. All right, show. Um, if y'all made it, to the end of the video, I really appreciate y'all watching this. You know what I'm saying? But this is gonna be like a 3-part series. Um, I already have the whole video already in the works. It's already like kind of like already finished, but like I seen that it was like 25 minutes, and I was like, who wants to listen to the? You don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to get established. So I'm just deciding to make this like a 3-part series. You know what I'm saying? Of like 3 reasons why I think Lamar's like the most hated MVP in the history of the league. But just stay tuned for part 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop it either next week or this week. It depends on how I feel. Um, but yeah, bro, thank you for tuning in. And this is gonna be a 3-part series, so just stay tuned. Thank you.